back. I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. Hey, y'all. It's your girl, DJ, with Plan for Keeps Dating App, Podcast, and Speed Dating Game Boards. This one is going to be a quick one, like it normally is when it's just me. Um, this podcast came about because I had an acquaintance that I spoke to earlier this year, or maybe even last year, in December or January. And then out of the blue, she texted me and requested that I call her. So I call her. Now, mind you, when we spoke in December or January, we spoke about the things she had been through. She experienced a layoff and then lost a very close long-term friend to an illness, and she was getting back on her feet. So when I call her and she's in May, June, and she's all excited and she's like, I'm getting married. And my jaw is to the floor. I was very excited for her, but also very shocked because she never spoke about dealing with a man. On top of all of the other stuff she went through, she was going through an abstinent journey. So as she continued to speak about the relationship and how it progressed, I found out she met him literally a month before she asked me to call her that day. So according to her, he's been doing all of the things, bringing her flowers to her job, making time for her, making plans for her with her buying a credit card for her, not buying, getting a credit card for her, pursuing getting a house built for them for the future, and just different things like that. Now, I know society leans more towards the saying, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. But then there's another saying that goes around in this situation. And that saying is, men know what they want usually right away. And no woman should have to wait 3 months, 6 months, and damn sure not a year to know how a man feels about her. And within that time frame, if he's serious, should pop the question. So my question is to men, women, all around the world. Does it take a month for a guy to automatically know and want to express, hey, let's just do it. Let's get married. Like, does it, can it be that short, with no crazy strings attached, no flipping the tables, 1 minute you're this person and the next minute you're a whole nother person. Like, can it happen that fast? Some would say my acquaintance man is a narcissist in disguise that will turn the tables on her as soon as the honeymoon phase is over. And some have experienced this very same thing and are still happily married. I know me personally, if I was in this predicament, it would scare me off. And as I think about me saying this, I know my acquaintance made a statement about how she deserved this treatment and how she'd been with other men and they never treated her like this man has in the month or two that he's known her. And it could be due to my own conditioning and what I've been through, but I personally would feel overwhelmed, ambushed, and bombarded. Like, my nervous system would be so dysregulated in that situation because to me it doesn't sound like a situation where I can gradually get to know a person. Like, now she's mentioned that they do talk all the time, they pray together. So I'm not knocking the depth of their relationship. I know she can move pretty fast paced and she's pretty open, and this guy may just be her match when it comes to that. So maybe it's uh just a great compatibility mesh, and they've met each other and now they're getting married. um I know me personally, I do think a lot of men probably are this way in nature until the world shows them differently, and then they make a choice. Do I stay this way or become more guarded to protect their ego, their assets, or whatever they feel they need to protect. So I don't know. But with that being said, I figured I would give a few tips on what to look for to really make sure that if you do end up in a situation like that, that you know that it's alignment for real and not just somebody love bombing you and bombarding you and you just going along with it because people in the background, he a great man, Savannah, but in reality, he's just giving you everything that he's got in the beginning, and then once he reels you in, and maybe he can't keep up with that, you discover the real, true person. And the first instinct, like I just said, for me, my nervous system would be so dysregulated in the situation. So he would have to respect the fact that I don't want to move that fast, right? And if he's the type of person who just ignores that and just continues pushing through with what he thinks is right and it just completely ignoring how I'm feeling, then automatically that's not a good that's not a good sign, because even if he is a nice person and it rubs him the wrong way and he decides to walk away, like that could be a growth opportunity for him as well. Like slow down a little bit. You might run into somebody who would take complete advantage of that. Like slow down. Like what do you have to prove so quickly, right? That's just me. So that's one thing. Like just making sure there's alignment there between you and the guy. Another thing is, now people can give grand gestures, but is the communication consistent, right? The text, the calls, are they consistent? Are the plans concrete? No one's canceling all the time. You're not the one injecting yourself in it to make sure things stay consistent and as planned. Too, is it real genuine interest? Is he asking thoughtful questions about you, your day, your feelings? Or is he just buying you things and trying to buy you and persuade you into kind of this relationship, or kind of just to keep you around? Like, does he genuinely like you for real? Like, are you really able to, show yourself, right? And is he doing the same thing? Like, is he showing openness and vulnerability with himself, with his authentic self? Or is he just doing it with his wallet? Like, you gotta be able to look at those things. Now, if the wallet is more important than you knowing who he is, then you can just ignore everything that I said. Another thing, I kind of touched on this a second ago: respect for your boundaries and independence. So if you aren't feeling comfortable with all of everything being thrown at you, like, right, and you tell them like, hey, I like you, but let's slow down a little bit, and he shows no respect or doesn't care about your boundary, or doesn't understand why you don't want to kind of just go with the flow of all of it, and then that's not the person for you. Even if you are thinking, well, maybe I'm tripping. No, you're not tripping. You're not tripping, because if he can't understand that for you and how you move, you need things to be at a slower pace, then that's not the person for you. I don't care what anybody says. I don't, because somebody could be genuinely they could think that they're a really good person by giving, 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 and doing, 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 just because they don't know what boundaries are, or they don't know where they begin or end, and they get angry with you. Like, you got to be careful with that. You want to be with somebody who's kind of even keel with where you're at, as far as like give and take, um and boundaries and things of that nature. That's a whole nother discussion for a whole nother day, though. So those are some of the things. And then, just to see through a gaslighter, narcissist, or a love bomber, you have to trust your gut, right? Like, you have to trust your intuition. Like, if I don't want to lean too much on the saying of, if it's too good to be true, then it probably is, because sometimes it's true, right? Sometimes it's true. But when you feeling something, make sure to vocalize it. Don't dumb down your feelings because of what you think society is at, or dumb down your feelings because you feel like, oh, this guy is just doing all this stuff, it's great, and but you're feeling some type of way, so you should speak on it. Don't battle yourself if you're feeling some type of way. Let it out and talk to the person that you're feeling it towards. Really observe a person's actions, right? Make sure they're action oriented on top of their words. See how they react when they slow the pace down. Once again, if they get upset with you slowing down the pace, then in my opinion, they're hiding something. What's wrong with slowing down the pace to see? Let's slow down a little bit and let's really get to know each other, right? Um, Make sure you maintain your support system of friends and people that were in your life before this person. If automatically you see yourself cutting friends off and being distant and just to be around this person or they're sucking up all of your time in the beginning, hell, I mean, even later on in the relationship, that's not a good sign either. And, if you try to set boundaries and they're not heard, again, that's a huge red flag and you may need to walk away. No matter what they're giving you or how you feel, they treat you when you do keep your mouth closed. That may not be the move or the relationship for you. So I think those are things to look out for, like when you're in the beginning stages and a guy is just doing, and they give off the saying, "Oh, it's too good to be true." Try to slow it down a little bit and see how he reacts. And if you don't like how he reacts when things slow down, then that's probably your answer, and you need to stick with that answer. So I hope this was helpful. I rack my brain around that question a lot because I know um, a lot of men will argue that this man is a simp or it takes longer sometimes than a year to really know if this person is for them. And then you got other men who they know off the bat and they act off the bat. And some of them are really genuine in knowing. And I believe some of the people who love bomb, I believe they in their own way are genuine. I believe in their own they're genuine in their own way. I think a lot of people do things and when they're doing things, they don't know the reasonings behind it. Like, okay, this is just what you do. You give, and they don't see the pattern that after they've gave so much, they get exhausted and they change and they try to justify their bad behavior with how they were in the beginning. So I think people really need to slow down and observe themselves before they get into like full committed getting married predicaments. But I do hope um and pray for my friend that this is the perfect match made in heaven. Like I said, I know she's the type who um she jumps in, she loves hard. That's with her friends, that's with people that she's dealing with strangers. And I pray that this man has the same genuine heart. And I wish them many years. And yeah, her situation sparked this episode. Like, okay, how fast should a guy move? Um, Feel free to message me on Instagram, leave a comment below on YouTube of your thoughts of, I mean, hell, the situation. Your thoughts if you're a man, like, is it realistic for a man to move within 3 months, 6 months, a year? I think so. Maybe not. I would lean closer to the 6 months to a year. I think somebody should definitely know how they feel about somebody and if they want to move forward, if they're ready, if they're intentional to move forward and marry. I think that's a good time frame, at least to be a year, at least to be engaged. 6 months to be serious. I think 3 months may be a little too soon. I don't think that's enough time for you to see all seasons of a person. Unless you're like enmeshed in each other. So that's a whole nother conversation too. Like, yeah, I know some people say 3 months, but it's like, damn, are you guys in each other's skin like every day? Like, how do you know within 3 months? So I kind of get it, you know? Anyway, you guys, let me know your thoughts on that saying. Like, when a man, as soon as a man um sees a woman, yeah, he's instantly attracted, but when does he really know if he wants to spend his life with that woman? I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Leave me your thoughts. I'm always looking for guests who are single and have a funny or crazy dating story. Hit me up so you can come on the podcast. If you're in Atlanta, we can do a live podcast together. If you're not, as you see, I'm set up for virtual. And until next time.